tonight with an amazing story of survival. A teenager tied up and then thrown from the roof of an 8-story apartment building. Remarkably, he lived.
We're just talking about lights. On many levels, they're a necessity, but here at the Boulevard and a lot of other places like the Boulevard, they've been absent. So today's announcement for them is a big win.
East New York, located in eastern Brooklyn, has experienced significant demographic and economic changes that have influenced its crime landscape. Established in the 19th century, it was initially a residential area predominantly inhabited by working-class Italian and Jewish families. In the late 1950s and 1960s, the neighborhood underwent a demographic shift as African American and Puerto Rican populations increased, leading to a racially integrated community for a brief period. However, this transition was accompanied by challenges, including racial tensions and economic disparities. The 1970s brought economic downturns, exacerbated by practices like blockbusting and redlining, which led to property devaluation and abandonment. These factors, coupled with industrial decline, resulted in increased unemployment and poverty. The neighborhood's infrastructure suffered, with many buildings becoming vacant or falling into disrepair. The socioeconomic challenges of the 1970s and 1980s contributed to a rise in crime rates in East New York. The area became notorious for violent crime, including drug-related activities and gang violence. In recent years, efforts have been made to address crime and revitalize East New York.
A housing project in Brooklyn is shining a light on safety. Zachary Key shows us the new lighting system just installed and how it's part of a bigger crime-fighting effort.
I mean, come on. We're just talking about lights. On many levels, they're a necessity, but here at the Boulevard and a lot of other places like the Boulevard, they've been absent. So today's announcement for them is a big win.
A little boy buried today, just as a suspected was hauled into court following a terrifying stabbing spree.
Mr. Smile, just his spirit and everything about him.
Hundreds gathered at the boy's funeral on Friday morning, including Mayor de Blasio, other elected officials, and the head coach of the Chicago Bulls, seen here on the left. PJ's cousin is Bulls forward Taj Gibson.
It's going to be real hard, just having that young face running around the barbecues, always saying, pick me up.
PJ was stabbed Sunday in an elevator at the Boulevard Houses in East New York. The man police say is responsible for his Daniel St. Hubert appeared in court. The 27-year-old glared at the courtroom before turning to face a judge wearing the same clothes he was arrested in, tightly handcuffed, surrounded by 5 armed officers.
A case that shook Brooklyn nearly a decade ago is back in the spotlight tonight. The man convicted of 6-year-old in 2014 and injuring 7-year-old has died in prison.
The Boulevard Houses, located in East New York, Brooklyn, is a public housing complex managed by NYCHA. Completed in 1951, it consists of 18 buildings with 1,424 apartments. Initially home to a predominantly Jewish working-class community, the development reflected a close-knit environment where neighbors interacted and children played freely. Over time, the demographics shifted alongside changes in East New York's population. The complex has faced challenges, including a tragic 2014 elevator attack that left 6-year-old and seriously injured a 7-year-old. The attacker, Daniel St. Hubert, was convicted and sentenced to 46 years in prison. To enhance safety, initiatives such as the installation of 504 new lights under the 2016 Mayor's Action Plan for Neighborhood Safety have aimed to reduce violence. Despite its challenges, the Boulevard Houses community continues to show resilience, with ongoing efforts to improve safety and living conditions.
Uncles and them, they made a name for themselves in East New York. Y'all do y'all Googles, y'all know who King Tut is.
From over here, don't come over here.
Check it. You might think you somebody else.
The interior decoration on all the projects is pretty much the same.
Come on, man. You know who we at, man.
East New York.
Gangsta. So like I said, y'all happening, man. Y'all do y'all commerce and y'all bikes, man. Talk nice. Gangsta. That's all I'm saying.
The Cypress Hills Houses, located in East New York, Brooklyn, is a NYCHA-managed public housing complex completed in 1955. It comprises 15 7-story buildings with 1,407 apartments across 28.88 acres. Over the years, the development has faced significant challenges, including gang activity, drug trafficking, and violent crime. The Cypress Gangsta Crips, CGC, a local gang, has been linked to multiple violent incidents, including the 2015. Their leader, Shakim Rivera. In 2016, a major law enforcement operation led to the arrest of 14 individuals involved in drug trafficking and firearms offenses within the complex. These issues have fostered an atmosphere of fear and insecurity for residents. While increased policing and community initiatives aim to reduce crime, efforts to create a safer and more supportive environment are ongoing.
Please stay safe out there.
Safety first because of the violent history of these gangs. All are teenagers about to get an early morning surprise when these detectives arrive at their front doors.
Remember, when you go through that door, every one of these individuals possessed a gun or used a gun. Be cognizant of that when you go through. Safety, #1 priority today.
Detectives then suit up with equipment in hand and roll out. We ride along as they are on the move. The raids are well orchestrated, done simultaneously. They're targeting 17 alleged offenders.
Take it all the way up there. Right there, you see 'em?
Fiorentino Plaza, located in East New York, Brooklyn, is a NYC-managed public housing complex with 8 4-story buildings and 160 units. The development has struggled with crime and safety issues, including gang activity linked to the Pistol Packing Pitkin (PPP) group, which operates in the area. PPP is part of the YPF Alliance, collaborating with gangs like FNO in Fort Greene and Yawa in Brownsville to expand their influence and engage in violence. Violence at Fiorentino Plaza includes the 2021 fatal shooting of a 16-year-old near the complex. In response, efforts have been made to improve living conditions and safety. Under NYCH's PACT initiative, a $600 million renovation plan announced in 2022 includes upgrades to kitchens, bathrooms, windows, and security systems, aiming to modernize facilities and enhance the quality of life for residents. These efforts seek to create a safer, more supportive community.
Yeah, we in Linden Houses right now, man. We in my hood right now. It's lit.
You know about corners?
You know what I'm saying? There's a thing right here sometime.
The Linden Houses, a NYCHA-managed public housing complex in East New York, Brooklyn, was completed in 1958 and includes 19 buildings across 30 acres. Like much of the surrounding neighborhood, the development has faced long-standing challenges with crime, including gang activity, drug trafficking, and violence. In January 2021, a 17-year-old boy was fatally shot inside the complex, highlighting ongoing safety concerns. Efforts to address these issues include a $300 million renovation plan under NYCH's PACT initiative aimed at repairing decades of disinvestment at the Linden and Penn Workman houses. However, concerns remain, with reports in 2023 of numerous eviction proceedings raising questions about tenant relations and housing stability. The Linden Houses reflect the broader challenges of urban public housing, where socioeconomic struggles and infrastructure needs intersect. Continued rehabilitation efforts are essential to improving safety and quality of life for residents.
Begin tonight with an amazing story of survival. A teenager tied up and then thrown from the roof of an 8-story apartment building. Remarkably, he lived.
Even after being duct taped, investigators believe that young man was then pushed over this ledge, falling 8 stories to the ground. Not only did he survive, he talked to police. On the way to the hospital, the 17-year-old managed to mumble his name to officers, barely gave them his York, Pennsylvania address, and somehow gathered the strength to say he was thrown off the roof of the housing authority's pink houses.
Oh, Chris and Mary, police confirm an officer shot
A 28-year-old man here in the pink houses in East New York. Police say while descending a, quote, dimly lit stairwell, two uniformed police officers encountered a 28-year-old man who entered the stairwell from the 7th floor. The officers were coming down from the 8th floor. They say that's when an officer fired one round, striking the man in the chest and him. Now, police have not said if that man was armed. They say the circumstances leading up to that shooting right now are unclear.
Pink houses, East New York, right? Money talk, some bullshit walk, you heard?
The Louis H. Pink Houses, located in East New York, Brooklyn, is a NYCHA-managed housing complex established in 1959. Spanning 31.1 acres, it features 22 8-story buildings with 1,500 apartments. Designed by Adolf Goldberg and Herbert Epstein, the complex originally emphasized community spaces, including playgrounds maintained by the Parks Department. Over the years, the Pink Houses have faced significant challenges, including high crime rates, gang activity, and deteriorating infrastructure. Gangs such as the 90 Gang, Mac Baller Brims, and Pink Houses crew have been linked to violent incidents, drug trafficking, and other crimes. In 2014, the fatal shooting of a young girl by a police officer in a dark stairwell brought national attention to the complex's safety issues. Residents have also dealt with infrastructural problems like broken heating systems, non-functioning stairwell lights, and mailboxes, exacerbated by years of neglect. Initiatives like the 2015 Pink Houses Community Farm aim to foster engagement and improve living conditions, but significant safety and maintenance concerns persist. Efforts to address these issues are ongoing, with improvements critical to creating a safer and more livable environment for residents. The Penn Wortman Houses, a NYCHA-managed housing complex in East New York, Brooklyn, consists of 3 16-story buildings with 333 units built in 1972. Over the years, residents have faced issues such as maintenance deficiencies, heating outages, and safety concerns, including prolonged elevator wait times and power outages. In 2021, NYCHA began transitioning the complex to Section 8 housing under the PACT program, partnering with private developers to fund $430 million in renovations at the Penn Wortman and Linden Houses. Planned upgrades include improved apartment interiors, mechanical systems, and security. However, residents have expressed concerns about the impact on affordability and continued experiencing disruptions, such as a 9-hour power outage in 2022. The Penn Wortman Houses highlight the challenges of aging public housing, where infrastructure and safety issues require ongoing rehabilitation efforts to improve living conditions. The housing projects in East New York reflect the intersection of poverty, crime, and systemic neglect, highlighting the profound challenges faced by public housing residents. While programs such as NYCHA's PACT initiative and community engagement projects have shown promise, sustained efforts are necessary to ensure these developments become safer, more supportive environments. By addressing the root causes of crime and investing in infrastructure, safety, and community programs, East New York's housing projects have the potential to transform into thriving communities that truly serve their residents.